and welcome to the video. This is Gordon here, G17 Collectibles. I have had a nightmarish disaster. There hasn't been many videos for a few months. There's reasons behind that. I've been really busy, but I lost a lot of content that I'd already pre-filmed, one of which was the Robocop build. So I don't have build videos for the next 12 episodes, the next 12 magazines. So we'll just be doing a bit of a summary and a recap of what I've actually built, because I'm not going to undo everything to then build it on camera. About 2 or 3 months ago, I sat down and I did all 3 of these build series together. I've also got another 2 deliveries to build, so I'll be doing them today and hopefully I'll be able to do it right. But I built all 3 of these monthly deliveries about 3 months ago, and completely lost all of the footage, which really pissed me off. And I kind of gave in a little bit. I gave in because filming videos and doing it all is hard enough work as it is. And I thought, oh, this isn't worth it. But I've taken some time off. A lot has changed for me, my collection and everything else. There'll be a new video coming up on my new collecting hobby, which is 3D printing, hence why I've been really busy. And I've also changed a lot about the display space in the last few months, so we're going to concentrate on that. However, I do apologise. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I just do this as a bit of a sideline. I don't make any money off it. I just like sharing content. So I'm just going to have to give you all a bit of a recap. I don't think too many people watch this anyway, but yeah, we'll just do a bit of a recap. So 3 months worth of deliveries. I'll concentrate first on the first 4 issues, which is 35 to 38. This was mainly, I'll just show you the build instructions, mainly continuation of the right leg. So we had some plates to put on to the back and the right, which we did for that right calf. We then moved on in number 36 to a continuation of the right thigh. So this was the upper portion of Robocop himself. So we had these parts here, we'd stick a wee plate in there, which was fairly straightforward and fairly easy. This was the right inner thigh portion we were working on in this magazine. And then episode oh, I feel like starting all over again. This magazine 37 was concentrating on the hip joint, so we had a couple of bits and bobs to put on to the upper right thigh, and then we screwed on the hip joint plate. And then on magazine 38, we had the ball joint to continue, so that was a bit fiddly. We had a couple of caps and the ball joint hook to put in, so that was all complete. And then that was screwed to the upper portion of the hip joint itself. So that was those 4, and I'll show you the work in a minute because it's all put together. I just want to move on and just very briefly show you what 39 to 42 was. So we had more leg parts. Basically all these magazines from 35 right the way through to about 46 were all leg parts. It was continuation of the right leg. And by the end of all this, we've now got 2 solid legs, which I'll go show you in a minute. Anyway, this was all the parts that we had to do. This was the upper thigh part, which was all put together, so that gave you that portion there. We then moved on to magazine 40, which was again continuation of the right leg. I'm going to be saying that quite a lot because it's all right leg, and that gave us that part there. Magazine 41 consisted of these parts here. So we had a part to put round to finish off that top right thigh piece, and then a part to go round the outside. Then we had some smaller parts. Now this was all about building the spring-loaded action for the flap on the right leg that opens up and gives you the Auto 9. So lots of fiddly wee springs in this. Putting it all together and making sure that these flaps were completely together was a bit of a job and a half. Bit fiddly, but nonetheless it was fine. Managed to get it all done. It wasn't too tricky, but it was a wee bit challenging. We then moved on to the interior of the leg. Now this part of the leg's plastic, and you had to fit this. It's actually a button. The button that you press that button and it flips open. I'll show you that in a minute. It flips open the right upper thigh portion. So this black piece sat inside the leg itself to hold the Auto 9. We then moved on to issues 43 to 46. And issue 43 was some more parts for the right leg, and this is the bits that kind of spring open. So you can see there, you attach them to the inner black piece. This inner black piece then sits with these buttons and springs, and then that does that piece there. If you look at issue 44, now this was it. There was a lot of wee bits involved in this. So again, some springs, some buttons, more into the internals of the leg. That actually is the holster that the Auto 9 actually slots into. And coming around here, you kind of finish off by putting all these two halves together and then closing the leg up. And then 45 and 46 were building the Auto 9. So the Auto 9 came in several parts. So it was a wee bit fiddly to put together, but nonetheless, I think the hardest part was this wee teeny trigger piece and the hammer. You had to somehow line all these up on one half of the Auto 9 shell and then clasp the other half on top. So the trigger and hammer were a little bit fiddly. Once you'd completed the Auto 9, you then slid the magazine in. And then the last magazine was 46, and it was the back kind of pelvis section. So Robocop's arse, essentially. That's what you got here. This is Robocop's arse. And it was just, he didn't put that on the model at all. It was just putting a couple of gears in, etc. for that. So that was us. And yeah, recorded it all and lost it. So with these magazines, we also got a few free gifts. So before I go ahead and show you the stuff that I've built, just want to run through some of the things that came with this episode, this set of magazines. So we got in the box a Robocop bust. It's okay. It's not fantastic. I haven't even opened it really. You can see it's still sealed. It's not something I'll probably put on display. I might use it as a paint test master to kind of try my hand at that kind of bluey, purpley hue. I might keep it in its box and do nothing with it because I don't really think the gifts you get with these things are that great. Or I might give it away. So I might do a channel giveaway at some point and throw this in amongst some other stuff. So yeah, watch this space, but that's one of the things you get in this monthly deliveries. You also get this. Now this, I'm actually quite pleased with this because it will come in useful. This is one of these portable batteries. So it's, can't remember how big it is when it comes to battery capacity is 2,500 microohms or microamps. So I think it's a pretty decent battery. But you get this, it's a nice blue colour. It does have the screen printing on the front. Little USB cable with it. Haven't used it yet, it's obviously still in the box. But again, it's a nice little item to kind of get. It's printed on both sides, as you can see. So that was that. And I also got this, which again, hasn't come out the package as yet. This is the optional extra that you can purchase, which is the big light up Robocop OCP logo theme base. And I think this comes in about 8 or 9 different packets. So there's one now every month that's arriving. Now I'm going to leave the big, huge base to last. I'm not going to build that as we go because I don't see the point in building it in small sections and parts. I would rather keep it all sealed and we'll keep it to the very end, and when Robocop's finished, that's probably when I'll put it all together, or when I've got all the parts, certainly that's when I'll put it all together. So that arrived with these deliveries. Now, just to go on and show you, where did I get to? So we've got 2 legs now, 2 full legs. There we go. Robocop's legs, they both match. One's a left and one's a right. Now I believe this one, yep, this is the one we've been working on in these issues. So this is the full, complete right leg. If I flip this, start to rotate this and flip it over, you can see this. These are the 2 flaps that pop open to reveal Robocop's Auto 9. That's inside his holster. So you can see quite an unsightly hinge. Don't know if that's going to focus on camera because I can't see the camera, I can only, I'm below it. But that is quite an unsightly hinge. I don't know whether it could be better engineered or anything be done with it, but I'm not bowled over by that. Luckily it's on the back, and I think by the time you put the legs together you're not going to see that. You also have this. This is a little push button. You're going to have to be careful with that because that is going to release the front. So although it's built reasonably quite well, I wouldn't be continually pressing this because I think it's got potential to break. So without further ado, if I pull this round and I press the button, what happens is it releases this front flap, and we can pull this open, and there we have the Auto 9 that comes out. Now, not very pleased, but this is all plastic. The Auto 9 is plastic. I guess the reason why it's plastic is because if Robocop is to hold it, you don't really want something too heavy in his hands to hold, because it could potentially make the hand drop it, but it is plastic. The interior's okay. You can see that's on some form of spring return, so when you press the button it does pop out. The mechanism's a wee bit on the shoddy side. That one hinge there it doesn't feel too robust to me. It really doesn't feel that robust at all. And then when you try and close the leg back up, you do have to realign it properly and correctly to get it all snapped together. And it's not something I think that you're going to want to do when the model's actually built and keep pressing that button. So it's a nice thing to have. Personally though, once it's in place, I'll not be pressing the button to release it. So there we go. I'll just put this Auto 9 back in. For the time being, I do probably plan to have Robocop holding his Auto 9. But yeah, so that's it, spring loaded. This isn't necessarily spring loaded, but you just need to take some care when you're putting it all back together. So yeah, that's us. We now have 2 legs, and I can now move on to the next set of magazines. I've got 2 more sets to build. So we're right up now, I think, to about issue 60. So I'm going to concentrate the next couple of videos on them. So far, we've got quite a lot of stuff built. We've got the right arm, the chest pieces, we've got the helmet, the head. So all we've really got is the pelvis, or Robocop's arse, his lower torso, and then the completion of the upper torso in one arm. That's where we are, and we're about halfway through now. So yeah, again, I apologise that not being able to show you the build videos, but you know what, it is what it is. I'll hopefully be able to record the next set, otherwise I'll completely give up, totally. So yeah, thanks for checking the video out. Appreciate it wasn't probably what you wanted to see, but it's all I can do at the moment unless I strip the whole thing back and rebuild it, and it's too fiddly and complex to do that, so I do apologise. Anyway, take care of yourselves, catch you on the next one, bye.